trying so hard. You confessed your anxiety over feeling that you were failing as a parent and didn't know what to do. You confided your hopes and dreams for your kids. You bared your soul and shared your fear that you were messing it all up and doing it all wrong. And so, I wrote this book for you. Coming up, you won't find a 10-step plan to raise obedient children or 3 strategies for effective discipline. What you will find are honest confessions and tried and true tactics I've learned for loving my kids more wholeheartedly. I know parenting is a hot-button topic and everyone has strong opinions. So in the past, I avoided most parenting-related questions by giving a response that went something like, ask me someday 25 years from now when my kids are all grown. I might have some answers then. But when you showed up at my door and at my table, I felt an urgency to write the book now. As I have opened up and given tiny glimpses into what God has been doing in my heart and life and in my approach to parenting, multitudes of moms and dads have asked me to share more. I'm not a parenting expert or a psychologist, nor did I write this book because I've figured out the secret to producing perfectly parented offspring or because I feel like I have all the answers. Newsflash, I don't. I'm an everyday mom who is still very much actively parenting. I gave birth to baby number 4 while writing this book. I am right here in the trenches with you. We have 4 biological kids, ages 16, 13, 11, and 11 months at the time this book is published. I'm also a foster mom, which means we often open our home to kids of various ages for a short stint or a longer period of time, depending on the needs. In the middle of the first month of drafting this manuscript, we opened our home for a week to a 10-year-old girl who needed a place to stay while her foster family was out of town. A few weeks later, we accepted a long-term placement of a preemie baby who was in the neonatal intensive care unit, NICU. More on that second placement in the last 2 chapters. This journey I've been on the past 4 years has changed my life from the inside out. And it's changed our home and our kids too. I've stopped second-guessing myself so much and started focusing on leaning in and loving. I've quit worrying constantly about my own reputation or what others will think, and am resting and relying on God's still small voice of truth to give me wisdom for the next step. I've let go of thinking it all depends upon my doing it perfectly. I've realized that I will make mistakes and that it's better to openly acknowledge them to my husband and kids. I'm believing the truth that I am uniquely equipped and chosen by God to be my kids' mom and Jesse's wife, that there is no one on the planet better suited for the task. My shortcomings and struggles will not ruin my kids or my husband, and I can trust God to fill in the gaps I leave. I'm loving my kids and husband from a place of grace and a space of rest instead of a place of guilt and a space of stress. It hurts me to see parents walking around with so much guilt, exhaustion, and feelings of failure and not enoughness. My heart in this book is to give moms and dads everywhere practical encouragement so you too can take steps toward parenting from a place of freedom and rest instead of burden and stress. Throughout this book, you will not only find my story and practical advice I've learned in my own parenting journey, but I also share tools and support to help you along your way. These include scripture memory verses in bold, a manifesto or 2, and at the end of each chapter, 2 transforming truths for love-centered parenting. Several other hands-on helps are compiled in the appendix, recommended readings, questions to foster better communication, flare prayers, and more. Are you ready to join me? Before we get started, here are 2 important notes. Number 1, don't freak out over the grammar. Throughout this book, you will notice that when I tell mini stories, I use the pronoun they instead of he or she. The last thing I want to do in writing this book is to somehow hurt my kids' future or share stories that might cause others to view them in a negative light. Protecting my children is more important to me than following grammar rules. Each of my kids has graciously agreed to allow me to use their stories in this book because they have seen the difference in a home shaped by love-centered parenting. Number 2, this book was written for parents of younger children. I want to make it clear that I am not writing for parents of teens. Why? Because y'all, I'm over here very much still parenting teens.